dismissed every accomplishment I've made. You've talked about my father. Well, you call me an entitled millennial, I call you a carny succubus, because the dirty secret about you, the dirty secret is you need this generation more than it needs you.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. We're talking about SmackDown, April 5th, 2025. Oh, my goodness. Wait, is it April? Wait, am I wrong? I think I'm wrong on my dates here. Yeah, I mean, silly me. April 4th, 2025. I'm already a day ahead. I looked at that. I was like, that just seems wrong. It's First Contact Day. First Contact Day is April 5th. What up, y'all? We're Joe and Wade on commentary. We're in Chicago. And we started off hot with a CM Punk coming out to a great crowd. And Punk made it like, hey, you know, everyone keeps saying that the overseas crowds are insane or crazy and they're loud. Yes, they are, but they ain't Chicago. And he takes the camera away from the cameraman and he starts pointing the camera around, showing the fans and everything like that. And it was awesome. And he's going on, you know, he's got his WrestleMania. I shouldn't be here, but I'm here, you know. And he's going on, and that crowd's eating up everything. And then here comes Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman tells him, hey, I just want to get this out of the way. Roman's on his way. And he's like, Roman's not here yet? He goes, I just want to know what the favor is. And Punk's like, well, once Roman gets here, I will tell him to your face, and you will hear what I have to say and what my favor I'm cashing in for WrestleMania. So, you know, this whole thing has been building up to the favor. What is it? Long-term storytelling. And Punk will start the show and Punk will end the show. That's how important this is, and this is what storytelling is all about. So Punk leaves. We got our first match of the night, the debut of Rey Fenix versus Nathan Frazier. Perfect opponent for him to have his big debut match in. But man, he looks like a superstar. And his logo, like kind of looking like Penta, is just so, because we're not stupid. You know, they're brothers. The Lucha Bros, bro. But man, it's such a fun match. I felt bad for Nathan in this match because his foot caught on the rope and almost got a you effed up chance and everything. But yeah, this was awesome. This was a great debut, especially for Rey Fenix. Then goes with Byron afterwards, and you know, and what this man has been through with everything at AEW and this and that, being held hostage basically, and he just tells everybody, I am WWE. And this being in Chicago and everything like that, and everyone knowing the backstage drama, this was my match of the night, man. I really enjoyed this, and I really enjoyed the passion that Rey Fenix laid afterwards, because he deserves this. Like, he deserves this a lot. Then we go to LDF backstage. Yeah, you know, they need to get back on track. But Berto's going to take on Rey Fenix next week, and I know that's going to be awesome. We get an eye patch Drew after being thrown into a car, you know, and breaking the window and everything like that. Real glass, Cry Me a River. He has an eye patch. We got eye patch Drew. It's crazy. He looks even more insane. That's the thing about it. He looks more insane with his eye patch, and he's calling out Damian. He's like, hey, you poke holes in my lies and tell me what I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but eye patch Drew. I need this as an action figure. Just as badass as eye patch Bryan Danielson. We get Byron with Braun, and then Solo and Tama gets in his way. Then LA's there, and this sets up our next match of the night. LA versus Tama Tonga. Fun match. Even LA had to do it. That was pretty awesome. Yeah, but fun match. You know, Braun, Solo, Tama, LA, and Jacob, they're all in this little bubble. And we got a big main event tonight with Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman in a last man standing match. Whoever wins is going to be the number one contender for the United States Championship at WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania season, and I love it. But, of course, Solo tries to help Tama, but no, LA Knight gets the win. And then we get Byron with Paul. And Paul's waiting, and he thinks this car, big car's rolling up. He's like, oh, my tribal chief is here. Yay, my tribal chief is here. No, it is Seth freaking Rollins, and he knows it. Oh, my goodness. And Paul's like, and it's like, psych. But Seth's like, you know what? Tonight, I'm going to be there to hear this favor. And I want to be there to see your stupid face and Roman's face and all the good things. And he just says, yeah, I will be there tonight. So we're setting up to have something special. And like I said, at this point, man, SmackDown's just been, it's just a really great show. Everything felt like it was flowing. And you talk about, bitch, please, I swear. We got Tiffany. Sorry, clicking something on the computer. We got Tiffany and we got Charlotte face to face. Wade Barrett is on commentary. Not commentary. He's the person in the middle. He was assigned for this job, and he has to be there to talk to these ladies and make sure that they don't kick each other's ass. Right? So he is the moderator of this, and he is going to do his best to make sure that these ladies don't kill each other. But it gets heated. That crowd wouldn't let Charlotte talk. It's all about Tiffy time. Tiffy's owning Charlotte on the mic, and I think that's just because the crowd would not let her speak, would not give her the opportunity to have a back and forth, so it was really one-sided. But Charlotte knows. She knows. And then Tiffy, at the end of it, she tells Charlotte, hey, I'm going to win, and you're going to be all alone. You were crying on some TV show, blah, 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 blah. And what is your record? 0-3. I was like, damn, did you just mention her divorce record? Yeah, and Tiffy's like, you can be the queen. You can have all these records you break, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of it, you'll be alone. And she throws that mic real fast because she knows Charlotte's going to come after her. And then Charlotte just tees it up with, is that why Kaiser is in my DMs? I'm like, ooh, some real spicy drama here. But that makes you care about this rivalry. We got Nick Aldis. He's out there and he calls out. This is before that. Nick Aldis has big announcements. We got a women's tag team gauntlet match to see who's going to face Liv and Raquel. For a second there, I had to remember who was the women's tag team champions. And we get a number one contendership match for the DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns. Who's going to face the Street Profits? And the Street Profits are in the crowd. Motor City Machine Guns get the win because of an exposed turnbuckle. Gotta love that spot. But they get a face-to-face with Street Profits, and I love it. I'm like, bring this on. I hope this is at WrestleMania. We get Miz and Mello. This was kind of cringe, but Pretty Deadly with them in this backstage segment. Pretty Deadly cooked Miz a little bit. He's like, you want to know what's lame? Marine 3. Marine 4. I was like, damn. Go after him, why don't you? But yeah, Pretty Deadly was pretty awesome at this. Miz, I just don't like this Mellow don't Miz, and then him. I'm like, no. Even Mello's like, we got to workshop that, man. Yeah, no. I don't care for it. I don't like it, and I think Mello needs to be taken away from Miz. No offense to Miz, but I just don't like it. We got B-Fab versus Naomi. Jade attacks Naomi before the match. It doesn't really affect her because she still beats B-Fab in this match, and then afterwards gets the mic and calls out Jade. Big fight, right? Says, chaos. Nick comes out. He says, there's only one way to settle this, and it's going to be at WrestleMania, YouTube, at WrestleMania. And I was like, woohoo! Let's go then. This is just shaping up to be a fun WrestleMania. I want to go back and rewatch WrestleMania 40 for the feels and how everything's been building to here and everything like that. Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. Silly me. My notes kind of fell off here, folks. So just give me 1 second, please. Please, a moment of your time. Isn't it great to be alive in this time of wrestling? We got Dynasty 2 on Sunday. God, I feel so good. But so at WrestleMania, it will be Naomi versus Jade. We have Damian Priest. He answers back and he says, I will be the villain then if you want me to. He lays out the timeline and says, I'm poking holes throughout your entire statement, Drew, but I will talk to you next week on SmackDown face to face, cabrón. I'm excited about that. Wait, what are you doing here? What? No. Sorry, my notes fell off. I don't know what's going on here. I have no idea. I have no clue. There we go. We're back at it like a bad habit. Okay, so next we have some really sad news. Nick Aldis is in the ring, calls out Kevin Owens, and Kevin tells us he has to have neck surgery. So the big match between Kevin and Randy is not going to happen. We don't know when Kevin's going to be back. He tells the fans thank you, and I feel really sad for Kevin. Yeah, it just sucks. Then Randy comes out, they look at each other, and this is the name of the game, man. This is what happens in the business. So, sorry, Kevin. Hope you get better soon. And Randy RKO's Nick. And I remember last year when he had to pay that fine, and Randy's like, hey, this is twice as much as I fined you. He goes, yeah, for next time. So a little callback to that. But he takes out Nick Aldis. Where does that land for Randy Orton for WrestleMania? Then we get our number one contendership match for the United States Championship, last man standing, and it was awesome. Two big monsters, Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman, fighting each other. Beating each other down. But great spots. We got tables, we got, hip check. What did he call it? A taco table or whatever. But Jacob Fatu was the last man standing, and we're going to get Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania against LA Knight. Yes, boy! We got Cena and Cody package. Then we get Byron with Paul. Roman finally rolls up. Yes, Roman finally rolls up, and this is the moment we all been waiting for, the favor. It's here. We're gonna find out what it is, and will we like it or will we not? We shall see.
I am going to walk down that aisle with you one day. No time soon. I get it. You need your space, and I respect that as your best friend. But I'm going to walk down that aisle with you one day when you're challenging for the WWE Championship. I am going to walk down that aisle with you one day when you, sir, are where you rightfully belong in the main event at WrestleMania. That's my dream.
The favor. So we know the favor now, and long-term booking, would you say? No, because he left the company for 10 years, and then went to AEW and whatnot. But I thought to cherry pick that is interesting upon itself. As the clip you just heard of what Paul just said, I like it. I love it. The favor is to put Roman out of his comfort zone, and at WrestleMania, the wise men will not accompany him. And coming full circle to that little promo from back in the day when Punk had mutton chops, the favor is Paul being in Punk's corner for the main event of WrestleMania Night 1. And that's why I played that clip, because I was like, man, that is insane. It is great storytelling at its finest, and it kind of just shows like, yeah, you don't need to be in the championship match, apparently, to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Just these three alone. Seth, Roman, Punk, and all the pops they got for this last segment, and Paul acting his ass off. God, I loved every single minute of it. I was just like, this is what I want. This is something I need. And yeah, I enjoyed it. Roman got mad, pushed Paul into the corner, started wiping his tears, and Paul's like, no. Punk grabs Roman, and he gives him the go to sleep. And Roman kind of lands weirdly on the canvas. I don't know why he was laying like that when he sold it. But what I love the reveal. I love that Seth was like, see, See what happens. I told you so. So Paul is going to be in Punk's corner, and I saw a little after video on their TikTok. Roman was not happy. Paul's in the doghouse, you know. So this was fun. I was like, I cannot wait for WrestleMania. Sucks I have to work now, but that's okay. I'll get to watch the replay and have some fun. Avoid spoilers like crazy, but I will be there for night 2. It's just awesome. A full, like playing that promo and listening back to that between Punk and Paul from back in the day. This was like when he was facing Ryback and stuff. You know, and fast forward it to now and thinking where Punk is at and all the stuff with AEW. I think Punk deserves this very, very much. And being the toxic person that he was coming out of AEW and stuff like that. But no, I think Punk is home. And this just shows that. And he's going to main event WrestleMania with 2 of the other biggest stars in the company, Roman and Seth. Now's the case of who's going to win. And is there going to be a swerve? Will Paul just turn on Punk and Roman in general and join Seth? The visionary, the revolutionary. You know, like... That was a thing I was reading online. People were talking about, is that going to happen? So that was SmackDown. Make sure I got the date right this time. April 4th, 2025. Match of the night was Rey Fenix's debut match with Nathan Frazier. Great opponent to have there for him, and especially his first match. Moment of the night. Oh, there's so many to this moment with Punk and Tiffany just being a bitch. WrestleMania is heating up, and Jade and Naomi are going to go and fight at WrestleMania, so a lot of good things are on the table. I cannot wait to see what happens on Monday Night Raw. You know, we got the Punk Cena, so everything's winding up, and I give this SmackDown a solid 5 out of 5. Jacob Fatu is going to face LA Knight for that United States Championship, and I want Jacob Fatu to win. So... we got Damian and Eye Patch Drew. So a lot of stuff on the show I really liked. 5 out of 5. Drop your comments below. Tell me what you thought. Tell me what was your match. And share your grandma, share the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB the Sexy Ninja. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
Paul Heyman.